All right, so get this. Today, we're tackling a mystery. It's a mystery that has stumped engineers for centuries.
Oh, century.
Yeah, we're talking about the Brihadeeswarar Temple in India.
Okay.
Specifically, that massive, and I mean massive, 80-ton granite capstone sitting 216 feet above the ground.
Wow.
Can you picture that?
80 tons.
80 tons. It's like someone balanced a blue whale on top of a skyscraper over 1,000 years ago.
Oh, wow.
No cranes, no modern tech,
Yeah.
just human ingenuity and a whole lot of muscle.
Yeah, it really is. It's mind-boggling, isn't it? That's why we're taking a deep dive today into the various theories surrounding its construction.
Exactly.
We've got some research and theories laid out, and trust me, the sheer scale of this project is going to leave you speechless.
Totally. But before we get lost in all the how, let's just take a second to appreciate the whoa factor here.
Okay.
I mean, 80 tons of solid granite perched atop the temple's Vimana, that's the tower. For those of you who haven't had the pleasure of seeing this marvel, it just seems impossible.
Impossible. It really does. It defies logic. Let's break down the logistics for a second.
Okay.
First, they had to move this massive stone, potentially over 50 kilometers from the quarry, then hoist it 216 feet vertically, which is like stacking 6 school buses on top of each other.
Wow.
And they had to do all of this while making sure the entire tower remains stable.
Oh, right.
The planning and precision involved are just phenomenal.
I'm already getting a headache just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So let's get into the theories, shall we? The first one we're going to examine is the ramp system.
Oh.
It seems like this is the most popular explanation, right?
It is, yeah. It's the most popular. Picture a massive ramp.
Okay.
Stretching for kilometers, made entirely of earth and mud, gradually sloping upwards to the top of the temple. It's a simple concept in theory,
Yeah.
but in practice, the scale of it is just mind-blowing.
Okay, I'm picturing thousands of workers, maybe even elephants, hauling this gigantic stone up this enormous ramp.
Yeah.
It must have been an incredible sight, but also a logistical nightmare.
It would have been quite a sight.
I mean, wouldn't a ramp that size be incredibly unstable, especially with all that weight moving across it?
Well, that's a valid point. Constructing a ramp stable enough to support 80 tons, along with all the manpower and equipment, would have been a monumental challenge.
Right.
And there's another issue. We haven't found much archaeological evidence to support the existence of such a massive ramp.
So while it seems plausible on the surface, maybe the lack of evidence points to a different approach.
Yeah, could be.
Which leads us to theory number 2, pulleys and counterweights. Now, this sounds a bit more high-tech.
It does, doesn't it? And it's possible.
Okay.
We know that other ancient civilizations, like the Egyptians and Romans, used pulley systems to great effect. Imagine this. Instead of lifting the entire capstone at once, they could have broken it down into smaller, more manageable sections.
Okay, so they lift these smaller pieces using pulleys, assemble them at the top, and boom, you have a complete capstone. But how would they have generated enough force to lift those pieces, even if they were smaller?
That's where the counterweights come in.
Okay.
By using a system of ropes and weights, they could have created a mechanical advantage, making it possible to lift those seemingly impossible weights.
Right.
Think of it like a giant seesaw. By placing a heavy weight on one side, you can lift a lighter weight on the other with much less effort.
That makes sense. It's a clever way to amplify their strength, sort of like a human-powered crane. But I have to ask, is there any evidence to suggest the Cholas had access to pulley systems that sophisticated?
Well, that's where things get a bit more speculative.
Right.
While we haven't unearthed any concrete evidence of such systems at the temple site, it's important to remember that the absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence.
Right.
Given the Cholas' advanced engineering knowledge, it's certainly within the realm of possibility that they had developed such techniques.
Fair enough. So we've got these massive ramps, potentially high-tech pulley systems.
Yeah.
And now get this. The next theory revolves around something called ball and socket construction.
Ah, yes, the ball and socket technique.
Okay.
This is where the Cholas' ingenuity really shines through. Instead of simply stacking the stones on top of each other, they cleverly interlocked them using a system where a protruding ball on one stone fits snugly into a socket carved into the stone below it.
Okay, I'm visualizing it, but I'm not quite grasping why this would be so significant.
Right.
Is it just about aesthetics, or is there more to it?
It's way more than just aesthetics.
Right.
This technique, though seemingly simple, is incredibly effective at distributing weight evenly across the entire structure.
Right.
It's like building a giant rock-solid 3D puzzle where each piece is supporting the ones around it.
So you're saying this ball and socket construction could have played a crucial role in allowing them to place that ridiculously heavy capstone without the whole tower coming crashing down.
Exactly. The ball and socket construction could have provided the structural integrity needed to support the capstone's immense weight. And it wasn't just about supporting the weight. This technique also allowed the Cholas to build taller and more stable structures than would have been possible with traditional stacking methods.
Wow, it's amazing how something so seemingly simple can have such a profound impact on the overall design. It's making me think that maybe this ball and socket technique wasn't just a solution to one problem, but a key element in their overall construction strategy.
That's a very insightful observation.
Thanks.
And it leads us to our final theory, one that brings us back to those 1,000 elephants we mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Could they have been more than just muscle for hauling those massive stones?
All right, so we've got these massive ramps, high-tech pulley systems, ingenious interlocking stones, and now we're bringing elephants into the mix. It's starting to sound like a scene straight out of an Indiana Jones movie.
It does, doesn't it? While it's widely accepted that elephants were used for pulling and positioning heavy stones, some believe their strength might have been directly employed in the lifting process as well.
Wait, are we talking about elephants literally lifting those multi-ton stones?
Potentially.
How would they even manage that? Did they have some sort of ancient, elegant harness system we don't know about?
That's the million-dollar question. While it's a fascinating theory, I have to admit it relies heavily on historical accounts and speculation rather than concrete evidence.
So it's more of a could have than a did.
Right.
But I have to say, the image of elephants hoisting those stones is pretty captivating. It really paints a vivid picture of the scale and ambition of this project.
It does, and it speaks to the incredible resourcefulness of the Cholas.
Yeah.
They clearly weren't afraid to push the boundaries of what was considered possible.
All right, so we've got 4 fascinating theories, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. But before we jump to any conclusions, let's take a step back and consider this. What if the Cholas didn't rely on just one of these methods, but a combination of them?
That's where things get really interesting.
Right.
Remember, these theories don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Right, so maybe they used the ramp to get the stone close to the top, then employed a clever system of pulleys and counterweights for the final lift, all while relying on that ingenious ball and socket construction to ensure the tower remains stable.
Right.
And let's not forget, the elephants, who could have played a crucial role at every stage, providing the raw power needed to move these colossal stones.
Precisely. Imagine a symphony of human and animal power, ingenuity, and sheer determination, all working in harmony to achieve this architectural marvel.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. It's like a giant real-life puzzle, and we're trying to piece together the solution based on these tantalizing clues.
Exactly.
So, for you listening, what do you think? Which theory or combination of theories do you find most compelling? Let us know. Now let's shift gears a bit and explore the broader implications of the Chola's achievement. Because this isn't just about moving rocks, it's about pushing the boundaries of human ingenuity and leaving a legacy that continues to inspire us centuries later.
Absolutely. You know what strikes me? The Brihadeeswarar Temple. It isn't just an impressive feat of engineering.
Right.
It's also a testament to the Chola's deep understanding of sustainability and resource management.
That's a great point. They used locally sourced materials like granite, and even if that massive earth ramp is just a theory, it speaks volumes about their commitment to working with the environment rather than against it.
Yeah.
You don't see that kind of eco-consciousness in every ancient civilization.
Absolutely. And think about their mastery of load distribution with that ball and socket construction.
Yeah.
It's not just about aesthetics. It has direct implications for modern architecture.
Right.
Especially when you think about earthquake-resistant structures.
Yeah.
Architects and engineers are still studying these ancient techniques for inspiration.
It's incredible how these principles, developed over 1,000 years ago, are still relevant today. It makes you wonder what other ancient wisdom we might be overlooking.
Exactly. But it's not just the engineering that's remarkable, it's the sheer scale of the project management involved.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine coordinating thousands of workers, elephants, and resources over potentially decades of construction?
Honestly, I can barely keep track of my to-do list.
Right.
To orchestrate a project of this magnitude with such precision and efficiency is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
They must have had some seriously impressive organizational skills.
Absolutely. The Brihadisvara Temple is a testament not only to the Cholas' engineering prowess, but also to their mastery of logistics, planning, and leadership.
Oh.
There's much we can learn from their approach, even in today's world of advanced technology.
It's a humbling thought, isn't it? That sometimes the most valuable lessons come from looking back at the past. So it's not just about how they built it, it's about why.
Right.
This temple was a symbol of their power, their devotion, and their incredible ingenuity.
Precisely. It's a legacy that continues to inspire and entreat us even 1,000 years later.
You know, after exploring all these theories and delving into the history, I can't help but wonder, what if we were tasked with replicating this feat today,
Yeah.
but without the help of modern technology?
Okay.
How would we even begin to approach it?
Now that's a fascinating question. I think it would force us to reevaluate our reliance on modern technology and rediscover some of the ancient techniques that have been lost over time. We might be surprised at what we're capable of achieving when we strip away all the fancy gadgets and get back to basics.
It's almost like a thought experiment, right? Could we, with our modern knowledge and understanding of physics and engineering,
Yeah.
combined with those ancient techniques, pull off something as ambitious as the Brihadeeswarar Temple?
It's a challenge worth pondering, that's for sure. And who knows, maybe in the process of trying to recreate the past, we might unlock new innovations and solutions for the future.
I love that idea. Sometimes the best way to move forward is to take a step back and learn from those who came before us.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the temple itself. For those of you listening, I highly encourage you to search for images or videos of the Brihadeeswarar Temple online.
It's one thing to hear us describe it, but to truly appreciate its grandeur and magnificence, you have to see it to believe it.
Exactly. And as you're looking at those images, remember the mystery we've been discussing today. Consider the theories, the challenges, and the incredible solutions the Cholas devised.
Let those images spark your own curiosity and imagination, because that's what the Brihadeeswarar Temple is all about, a testament to the boundless potential of human ingenuity.
Well said. And who knows, maybe someday, with a little more research and a lot of luck, we'll finally uncover the full truth behind this incredible feat of engineering.
Until then, the mystery endures. But even without a definitive answer, the Brihadeeswarar Temple stands as a powerful reminder of what humans can achieve when they set their minds to something truly extraordinary.
It's been an incredible journey exploring this architectural marvel. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling incredibly inspired.
Me too.
The Cholas were true visionaries.
They were.
And their story reminds us that limitations are often self-imposed.
They dared to dream big, and they achieved the seemingly impossible. And that is a lesson worth remembering.
Couldn't agree more. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the Brihadeeswarar Temple.
We hope you enjoyed exploring this fascinating mystery with us. We'll catch you in the next episode for another deep dive into a captivating topic. Until then, keep those minds curious and those questions coming.
It's funny, you know, we started this deep dive with a mystery.
Yeah.
How did they get that massive capstone up there? But what's really stayed with me is the bigger picture.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like the Cholas were sending a message through time.
Right.
Like, hey, future people, look what we did. Imagine what you can do.
I love that.
Right.
Yeah, it's not just a temple, it's a challenge.
It is a challenge.
They didn't have our technology, but maybe they had something even more powerful.
Right.
A belief that limitations could be overcome with ingenuity and hard work.
Right. And that's a lesson that transcends time and culture. It's relevant whether you're building a temple, starting a business,
Right.
or even just trying to figure out that tricky DIY project.
It's a reminder that human potential is limitless. And sometimes looking back at the achievements of the past can give us the courage and inspiration to push our own boundaries in the present.
Absolutely. Well, before we wrap up, I wanted to mention that this deep dive was inspired by a question from one of you, our amazing listeners. So if there's a historical mystery, a scientific puzzle, or anything else you're burning to explore, send it our way. We love diving into the unknown with you.
And speaking of unknowns,
Yeah.
who knows what other mysteries are out there waiting to be uncovered? Maybe one day we'll be deep diving into your discovery.
Until then, keep those minds curious. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.